So I'm just going to go through each card very quickly. Hedging. Draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards. So if you have this boy in your hand, you would have most likely 2 other cards in your hand. You play hedging, putting it in the discard pile. You draw 3 cards. Take a look at those, and then discard 2 of those cards. So this is a really good card for getting a load of cards. If you think in this scenario, blue is likely to get out, so actually it might be a good idea to get rid of those 2 cards, and then you're in a really good position for more points. Nice cup of tea. Place a worm on its side. The next time that worm would move, place it upright instead. So if I was trying to sabotage blue in this case, I could play this card, place blue on its side. Now the next time blue would move, either because the die roll would say he'd move, so in this example it's all worms move clockwise, so all other worms would move clockwise. He would bounce off that, he would move clockwise, he would move clockwise, but the blue worm would just stand up rather than moving into this space here. And that's movement by any reason, so if someone tried to prod it, someone tried to move it in another way, he would just stand up rather than moving. Pole vault. Move a worm 1 space over a wall. So you choose a worm and you move them 1 space over a wall. So that can be in, that can be out, that can be all about. You cannot move a worm 1 space if there is not a wall, so you can't move, for example, him to there. But you can, if he was already here, then you could use this to jump over this outer wall and out of the labyrinth, which would be pretty good for blue. Prod. Move a worm 1 space in any direction. This works quite similarly to pole vault, where you move a worm 1 space in any direction. However, you cannot move through walls, so you must move 1 space in any direction, not into a wall. Note that if you're moving in or out of a space where there's 2 connecting to 1, you can always choose how that goes. So if I was moving out from here, I could choose here or here. My choice. Slide. Move a worm in the direction it has just moved until it hits an obstacle. So after you've rolled the movement dice on your turn, so for example, this green worm, let's say we've got green worm move clockwise, he would move 1 space there. If I were to play the slide card, I would discard it, and he would continue moving clockwise until he hit a wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, to there. This can be used to exit the labyrinth, and it can be a mighty shock. So for example, if green was here and it was move out, he would have moved out once during his turn, and he could slide all the way to the exit of the labyrinth and escape. Next we have Goblin King. Choose a wheel and rotate it. You can choose any wheel, and you may rotate it as much as you like. So we could choose the center wheel here and rotate it. Everything else keeps its orientation. When rotating, once you finish rotating, you must make sure that at least one of the lines connects to the outer piece and the inner piece, and that everything is sort of lined up. So I could go there. That puts magenta in a bit of a nasty position there, facing a couple of walls. And of course, discard the card. Finally, worm swap. Choose any 2 worms and swap their positions. So in this example, there would only be 2 worms, but I can choose any 2 worms and move him to there, him to there. If he was tired from a nice cup of tea, then he would stay tired. This doesn't count as movement, it just counts as swapping.